Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I don't even know if this is working right now. I guess we're live. I've done this before. I do know what I'm doing. I promise. And I think I have audio. If there's any problems, let me know. I'm not even going to look at the chat, though, until after I tell my story. Hi. By the way, my name is Brad, and I'm here to tell you why I got rid of my Autel. I totally got rid of it. If you want to see the story behind my Autel stuff, go ahead and click right up here. You can see the cards up there. I've got a list of what happened to the Autel and all these different things, so you can kind of know. I have nothing against Autel. I really don't. I like the company. I'm hoping more people show up on this live stream, but I do enjoy the company. They're pretty good. I really hope that they can get together and get it together and really make DJI give them a run for the money. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. But let's talk about why I had to give up my Autel X-Star Premium. Basically, what had happened, my first one went in the water. They replaced it. Autel did, and again, you can look at the videos up there and the cards and check that out later. And when I got my replacement, I flew it around a little bit. But in the meantime, I guess I got to back up. While I was waiting for my replacement, because it was taking a while to hear back from them, which is odd for Autel, and they did make it right. While I was waiting to hear back from them, I went and I bought a DJI Phantom 4 Pro, and I got to fly that because I needed to have a drone in order to get some videos and some work done. I couldn't be without the drone. So basically, because of that, now I got my feet wet with DJI. Some people say I went to the dark side. Yeah, well, whatever. Or I went to the bright, the the right side, the white side, because it's DJI and they're all white. Anyway, I'll get in trouble for saying something racist on that. Anyway, so what happened is I did some traveling and I got back, and that was without the drone, unfortunately. But I got back, and my hard drive in my computer took a dump. I mean, it stopped working. The computer would not recognize it. Now, I've been in IT before. I've built this computer on my own, so I really know a little bit about computers. So this hard drive had everything on it for all of my customers, and my backup had been failing, so I didn't have any recent backup. So yeah, I was kind of screwed. So I had to put in money not only to figure out what was wrong with that drive, but to get all that data off. Now, good and bad. I mean, it was a Seagate drive. I wasn't too thrilled with Seagate to buy it, but it was something new I thought I'd try. Yeah, that was a dumb idea. I admit that. So Seagate had their own has their own data recovery, thankfully, because otherwise the data recovery would have cost me like $2,300 or $1,700, depending on how fast I wanted. Obviously, if I wanted it within like a few days, it would have been $2,300. But Seagate only charged me, I think, a total of $700. And guess what? I didn't have all that money. So I had to sell my Autel. And why did I pick the Autel and not the DJI? Well, the DJI's video is far better. I mean, the quality is better and everything is better with the DJI. I'm sorry. You get all these experience. I mean, you've seen plenty of these little videos about and comparing the two. And DJI is, especially the 4 Pro, that's a really good drone. And everybody's like, oh, but this is coming out and this is coming out for Autel. The problem is I can't wait for it to come out. I need it now. So that's why I got the DJI. Autel, there's one other thing that really kind of prompted me to do this. I'm going to show you this video here in just a second. It's a little shaky because, I was holding it. I was doing it with my cell phone, and I was a little shaky because I was flying my DJI while I was monitoring it. I was hanging out of the remote, and then I was also, my friend was flying the Autel. So here's a video of that. I want you to take a look. Now, if you notice, the video is, you can see the Autel moving around. My friend is not even touching the remote control, and that thing is all over the place. And you can see the DJI is just pretty rock solid, and it was a pretty windy day. I mean, it really was. But that is way too much movement. He is not touching it. You can see that thing dropping. I mean, you saw it drop about, 5 feet, 4 feet? I don't know, but that's too much. And you can just see the DJI. It's just sitting right there. I mean, I could not... my basic goal was to keep the Autel as a backup drone, and I couldn't do it because if I had to do an inspection or if I had to get close to a building or close to anything, I couldn't trust that thing to not just run into something or whatever. The DJI, at least, is, it's got the object avoidance and all that stuff. But that's why I had to give up my Autel, because it wasn't flying very well. And here's the thing, okay? People are going to say, oh, but mine flies great. You know what? The first one I had flied like the DJI does now. It was rock solid. It wouldn't hardly move in the air, in the wind, and all of that. But I don't have the time to sit and go back and forth with Autel on how to fix this. I know they've got a new firmware coming up. Whenever that'll come out, who knows? Because, well, it's been Ghost Vaporware since day one. I mean, really, because they've been promising it for over a year now. They say it's coming out this month. Who knows? I'm not going to judge. I really, like I said, I am not against Autel. I want them to give DJI a run for the money. They need to have this competition to keep the price of drones down, to keep it up. I mean, DJI has got such a monopoly on it, but they're good drones, so it's really, really hard. But I don't want to have only one company to choose from. It's kind of like your cable company. You pick what you have in the area, and it kind of sucks because that cable company can do whatever. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So that's why I gave up my drone. Okay, I sold it. I listed it on several places, Craigslist included. One of the guys that I listed through Facebook, he bought it, and he's in New York. He's in Long Island, New York. He bought it. He got it delivered to him a couple weeks ago, actually. So I've actually had it gone for a couple of weeks. He has not told me if it's good, bad, or ugly, and that's a good thing, right? Let me get that chat working. That was weird. I had the chat connected, and then it decided not to connect. Anyway, so hey Brian, how you doing? Anyway, you can ask questions now. We can talk about other stuff about drones. It's kind of what I want to talk a little bit more about, other stuff about drones. I'm glad you made it, Brian. You were here last time. Wow, look, last time you were here, it was only 2 people. Now we got 10 people. Woohoo! So, anybody else out there have any issues or any questions even about the Autel X-Star Premium, the DJI Phantom 4 Pro? I've owned both. You can ask me about other drones. I'll let you know what I've heard. But those are the 2 I have flown the most. I've seen other ones. I have not seen a Spark yet, but I've heard they're really good, not for commercial use, but if you like to take selfies. Something, I guess, here's something that I would like to put out there. The different, I mean, where Autel where I see Autel sitting in the drone space. Oh, my Autel's been great so far with the exception of an SD card missing a video. Yes, Brian. Mine, what it would do, and this does, the DJI did it too, and I fixed that, and I'll tell you how in a minute. Mine, it kept stopping recording. That's exactly, they all do that. Let me tell you how to fix that. You get a better SD card that has like the minimum 85 megabits per second. If you can get one at 100 megabits per second, you just need, basically, you need a faster micro SD card. It's not really the drone, it's the micro SD card can't handle the data that's being thrown at it, and the drone says, well, I can't, it's not writing it, so I'm going to stop recording. That's how you fix that. I had to fix that with the DJI, and I didn't know that when I had my Autel, but my Autel did the exact same thing, and that is how you fix it. Very simple and easy. I hope that helps you out, Brian. Woohoo, I did some good. You just bought one today. Good. That will definitely fix it. If it doesn't fix it, you better get a hold of Autel. And that's kind of weird. Autel sends you the 64 gig card, was a 32, I think it's 64 gig, and they send that to you with the drone. And it drives me crazy because it's not a fast enough card. They need to have a 60 megabit or an 84 megabit card, but they don't. Things that let's talk a little bit more about Autel. Like I said, I want Autel to succeed, but I don't know if they're going to, because I mean, I just see some writing on the wall. I don't know if they're just really busy with this firmware. I don't know if they're busy with other stuff, because I know they got this Kestrel drone they're working on, which is a winged drone, but a vertical takeoff winged drone. I don't know, but you don't hear a lot. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? But you don't hear a lot from Autel right now, and I don't know if it's because I know they downsized some marketing people earlier this year. They downsized a lot. And yes, Brian, I like the orange also, because that orange is fantastic. It definitely beats the the white of the DJI. But with Autel, I don't know if they're going to still be in business unless they get some kind of investor or some kind of influx of money. I don't know how much longer they're going to be in business. I really hope that they are, because they're doing a good job. They really are. I like their product. I'm sure their second version will be better. They're always going to be playing catch up though. But I think they have a really good market in the people who are just they're hobbyists, but they're a little bit more than a hobbyist. They want that better quality video. They're ready to fly something that's a lot better than your standard, like, well, I don't know, the Karmas that fall out of the sky, or the smaller drones. They want to have something a little bit more stable. So the Autel is a good migration up into something bigger, and maybe Autel will come out with something better, kind of like the DJI's got their full line. If Autel had a bigger line and they could do that, then they would be in much better shape. Does anyone even have a Karma? I don't know. I know I wouldn't have one. I actually looked at those before I bought my Autel. I looked at those and I'm like, man, I like the idea of having the gimbal and the camera and the drone all in one, and I almost bought one, and boy, am I glad I didn't. I am so glad I didn't. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has a Karma. I'm sure there are people that have Karmas. Anyway, so with the Autel, I just don't know. I just don't know if their company's going to make it. I want them to, and if they don't make it, sorry, no. You don't have a Karma, Jeff? You've got a Mavic. I know you got the Mavic. But the Mavic is, the Mavic and the Autel, boy, those are probably more competitors, except the Mavic is so much more compact and transportable easily. That really makes it a very, very beneficial, and that kind of takes it over the edge of the Autel. The Autel Orange, the flying pumpkin, is great because you can see it. You can get that. You get a visual line of sight. Well, you might be able to see that farther than you can actually fly it, because it would go out of range. Yes, the Mavic does fold up. It folds up to, well, Jeff, what about this big? From what I understand, it's smaller. I think it's smaller than one of these, or right about one of these. And that Mavic will fold up, and you can pretty much put it in your pocket, which awesomeness, because that would be fantastic. So in fact, my next backup drone, if it's not the P4P that I'm using now, oh look, my thumb actually hit that's my bag. If that's not my backup drone, my next backup drone would probably be a Mavic, because it does do 4K, and it's a pretty good stable, and you can pretty much get it up and running anytime. Yep. I know you'll get a P4 too, a P4 also, but use the Mavic. You use the Mavic most because it's portable. I could see myself doing that a lot too, having a couple of batteries charged up and just ready to rock and roll at any given time. Because again, I got this big old backpack with my 4 Pro, 3 batteries, which are not small. It's got some weight to it, and the remote and all that other stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. If I had the Mavic, I would keep it in the car. I wouldn't always keep it in the car, but it would be with me a lot. It'd be probably with me almost as much as my cell phone. If I knew I was going to go to a place where I could legally fly it, I would go fly it and get some good video footage. And then the new Spark that's come out. I've seen videos. I have not seen. They're like about this big. No, they're not that big. Yeah, see, look at that, Jeff. We at the same time we were thinking. So the Spark. So I've seen videos on this. It has a 1080 camera. It doesn't have a 3-axis gimbal. It has a 2-axis gimbal. It is a really good introductory drone for the masses. I can see this being something huge for people. The camera, it's a 1080p camera. It's just an HD. It's not a 4K camera. But this is a camera for the average person that wants to get a cool looking selfie, because if you don't get it with a remote, you can't fly it very far away anyway, and you can only use your hands or you can use your phone, and Wi-Fi is the limit. I saw one YouTuber who was flying at Wi-Fi, and he wasn't thinking, he had forgotten he was flying at Wi-Fi, and he got it up too high and it lost signal, and he lost it. And it was a loaner from DJI, and they have no idea where that thing went. I don't know. That's something you can look it up on the internet. But yeah, I saw another guy. He's a professional drone pilot. He's a droner, DRONR. He's in LA, and he does a lot of stuff in in LA, and he does films and all this other stuff. So he's a professional. I mean, he's like in that level, a very high level professional. And he was playing around with the Spark, and you could see that, he's like, yeah, this thing it moves around a lot because it doesn't have the weight of his Inspire 2, which costs like 5 times more or 10 times more, whatever. So he has, you watch his videos too. You've probably seen this one, and he did a good job of flying. I mean, I think it has a good market because it appeals to the masses. I think the Spark appeals to the masses because it's small and all of that other stuff, because it does a good selfie picture. It does just little things. You're not going to get, it's only HD. I know there's going to be some realtors out there that are going to get out and use that for their videos to create whatever, but it's quite limited compared to what you can get with a Mavic, a 4 Pro, an Autel, and all of these others, and a Typhoon, a Unique, and don't know, and not a Karma, because the Karmas fall out of the sky. So the hand controls, yes, Brian, the hand controls of the Spark are really cool, but here's the neat thing about that is that's software. So those hand controls can be ported, if DJI wants to, can be ported to the 4 Pro, the Mavic, the 3, maybe not the 3, but everything from the 4 Mavic and on out, it can do that. Paying more for 2K for a drone is tough. Never know when you might destroy it. Brian, you know what? I agree. And then you see these drones. Oh my gosh, I saw a video. They were, I think they were in New York City. They had the drone probably was a $10,000 drone carrying an ARRI camera, and it was flying up next to a building, and they had all the permits. This was like a film crew, so they had all the permits, everything was covered, they were insured, everything was rocking and rolling, and they take off, and within like 40 or 50 seconds it drops to the ground, and nobody got hurt. Car got dinged a little bit, and the camera was pretty much lost. And when they look at the video in slow-mo, a rock or some kind of debris came off of the building. It came from above the thing and hit the drone and dropped it. Can you just imagine? Because that camera, I don't even know how much a camera is. I'm going to guess that camera is in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. The drone did get hurt. Yes, it did. Anyone ever get insurance? I use Verifly. I like to use Verifly right now because I don't get out so much to do a lot of stuff. So I'm still working on growing my business. And since I don't do that, I don't want to have a very expensive... I hope you guys can't hear my people upstairs. This is embarrassing. But anyway, I use Verifly because I don't have enough business to have a full year, full-on coverage. And it works really well for right now. That's how you get going in the beginning, is you just kind of... You cut where you can, but make sure you're covered. Because from what I understand, a friend of mine just got, I think, State Farm insurance, and they only cover hobbyists. Yes, it is a vacuum. Ugh. I hate apartments. Talk about that in a second, Jeff. Anyway, yeah, my neighbor's vacuuming Friday. Yeah, you should hear it when those kids get home. It's like, I don't know what they're doing up there, but it's worse than elephants bowling. So now, if you guys want to donate to my Get Me a New Place fund, I'm taking donations now. So, Jeff, you are asking me about the video of the jerkwad who was flying an MLB and crashing into the stands. I'm assuming, I think that was the guy. Oh, heck, I don't remember was that in Houston? No. Or was it out west? Anyway, yes, I did. It was a Karma. That was a Karma. So there's your answer, Brian. Some people still do have a Karma. And Karma's a bitch. So this Karma, what had happened, I guess the police were there saying, you need to land your drone. And the guy's like, I'm trying. But he had lost Wi-Fi signal. The drone made a beeline. It was a return to home. And basically... they were lucky. I don't know if you watched that video, but they were lucky they didn't hit anybody. They hit a seat at the highest level. Obviously just not quite high enough. The drone wasn't quite high enough, but the seat that it hit, it was San Diego. Thank you. It was out west. And it hit right between two people. I mean, they didn't even know it was coming. I mean, if you're watching a game, you're not watching for drones. Hey, Jeff, donate. I'll move near you. You don't live in as long as I don't live next to your neighbor or anybody like him, I'm good to go. Because Jeff's neighbor is the kind of guy that thinks all drones are spying on him. So Jeff can't fly his drone in his own backyard. Actually, legally you can. It just, the police probably can come visit because it's your yard. You can do what you want in your yard. Did you have permission? Did you give yourself permission to fly your drone? Yeah, you did. So, sorry. I tapped the microphone. Jeff is kind of local. Yes, Jeff is in the northwest suburbs. Brian is also local. Yes, they did take the drone. Yes, they did take the drone because I hope they find him $1 billion because that was just a stupid move. I mean, read the rules. In fact, you know what? I so much appreciated this. A friend of mine contacted me, west suburbs. You're on west suburbs. Okay, Brian. So anyway, a friend of mine contacted me a couple days ago. Maybe it was last night, and she says my son's getting a new drone. Can you give me suggestions? His budget's $250. I'm like, I have no idea what to get for that. But she goes, what advice can you give me? And this is what I want to give all hobbyists. Learn the rules and follow them. Keep that 400, keep under 400 feet. It's kind of like the video I did last week. All the rules, just learn the rules. I'm just glad that she asked me, that it's like, well, what do we need to know? It's like, well, don't fly over people, da 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 da. And that goes back to why was that guy even flying there over the MLB game? Because that's like a big time no-fly zone. During a game is a no-fly zone. You can't fly over Wrigley here. You can't fly over the Sox Field, Soldier Field, or anything else. So don't do it. You're not supposed to. Don't do it. Or any events. You're just not supposed to fly over people. That's FAA rule. As you guys know. I know you guys know this. I'm preaching to the choir at this point. So guys, tell me how my sound is. I hope it's okay. I know the vacuum's gone. Yes, Brian, local run drone. Yeah, Brian. He runs the Drone Flyers of Illinois group, and I will pimp you out again, Jeff, because I think it's an awesome group. And actually, I'm going to get you at least a half a person in. We're doing, I think, a lunch over up in the Northwest Burbs somewhere on Monday. I'm going to do everything I can to be there. Good. Thank you for telling me my sound is good because at least the vacuum's done for right now. Send me a link and... Brian or Jeff, if you can, is it this Monday? Hey, Stan, how are you? Thank you for telling me my sound is good. Jeff, if you want to send a link in the comments, if it lets you, go right ahead and send a link to the group. But Brian, if you just search Drone Flyers of Illinois, you will find it. Stan, where are you from? Are you from the Chicagoland area? Are you from elsewhere? Yeah, I'll let him post it, Brian. I mean, if Jeff wants to post it, he can post it. But on Facebook, if you just look up on Facebook, Drone Flyers of Illinois, you'll find him. It's a really cool bunch of people. It's really nice. And like I told you, you're from Boston, South Boston. Wow. How is it flying a drone in Boston? Ooh. Oh, Bruce, you just got on. You must have just got on. Why did I dump my Autel? I'll tell you really quick and in a nutshell because I said it earlier, but this is a live stream, so I have to repeat myself. Basically, I had one. I lost one. They replaced it. During the replacement, I purchased a DJI 4 Pro, and I had two drones for a while. I had the 4 Pro, and I had the Autel. And while I was doing stuff, my hard drive in my computer failed completely, and I needed to use data recovery, and it cost me $700 to get the data back, and because backups weren't working and all this other stuff. It's a long story to get into that part, but anyway, I had to put a lot of money into this thing, into my computer, and I had to sell my backup drone, which was my Autel. Now, other things about the Autel was that the Autel was not flying. My second Autel was not flying as good as the first Autel. My first Autel was like rock solid. It was awesome. I loved every minute of it until it lost GPS and went away. And I think, this one. I think if you guys look at, there should be some cards here. It kind of tells you what happened to my Autels in the beginning. There's a bunch of other videos for that. But then you can, this time I had to sell it because I needed the money. I don't hate Autel, but when you compare Autel against a P4P, there is no comparison. I mean, you can't. The P4P is far better than the Autel. Autel is a good drone. I hope that their company doesn't go out of business. I see writing on the wall, but this is a personal opinion. I want to be wrong. I want Autel to succeed. So that is what really happened. I dumped it because I didn't have a choice. I mean, really, I didn't have a choice. I wasn't using it as much. I wasn't about to sell the P4P because I do this as a business. I make videos as a business with not just with not with just YouTube videos, but I try to do some real estate. I do other stuff. A little bit of drone base, a little bit of different things here. So I had to keep it. YouTube doesn't allow me to post a link to the site. Okay. Sorry about that, Brian. Brian, seriously, Facebook, if you look up Drone Flyers of Illinois, you'll find it. So I hope that answered your question in a nutshell, Bruce. If you want to watch the more details, you can go to the very beginning of this video, and I tell you all the details on why I dumped my Autel. I hope that's good enough for you. So Stan, you said that there's not a lot of places to fly in Boston, only around the lakes. So they don't. Do they not stand real quick? I mean, I don't know if you're a commercial or hobbyist. Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. Can you fly out of public parks? Because in Chicago we can fly out of public parks, and as long as obviously no people, not a large crowd of people, because that's where I fly all the time, is out of local parks. Okay, Brian, I'm glad you found it. Good. So Bruce, you have an XSP and the Mavic. You rarely fly the XSP, so I'm selling your XSP also. Well, Bruce, you know how I sold mine is I posted it to a lot of different drone groups on Facebook, but oddly enough, someone in one of the Autel groups said, hey, is somebody selling their Autel? And I said, me, and a couple other people also, and he bought mine because I had a lot of batteries. I had 3 batteries and a bunch of other stuff, some filters and all that. So you're a hobbyist. Parks are... There's very little open area. Yeah. See, in Chicago, I mean, in Boston, you're right. Cause you can't go to Boston Commons. It'll never be open. AMA. What is the AMA card? AMA card is the... Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. It's the model airplane. Aeronautical model. It's for model airplanes. It's a model airplane. Look up AMA on Google. If you belong to that group, what you do is like a $75 a year subscription. I don't know why I don't know what AMA means. I can't get it in my head, out of my mouth. But if what they do is they offer liability insurance, and they give like hobbyists and others liability insurance, and then you can fly at the Cook County Forest Preserves. And Bruce, if you are, and Bruce and actually Stan both, if neither of you guys are members of the AMA, I recommend it because it actually helps you fly in other places, and it does give you that liability insurance as a hobbyist, because then if you fly and you land on somebody's car or break somebody's something, you're covered. It's insurance. Academy of Model Aeronautics. Thank you, Jeff. I knew I could count on you. Academy. I'm like, hey, what's that mean? South Bend. Hey, Bruce, you're in South Bend. I lived in Elkhart for 15 years. I know South Bend. I know it really well. Glad to know it. Hope you enjoy your South Bend. I don't see but you got the Mavic. That's right. You said you got the Mavic. What was I talking about? Boston. Yeah, Boston. I'd love to come fly there, but I'm not a big Boston fan. And that's only personally. It has nothing against the city. I have a bad experience with, we'll just say, an ex-girlfriend that lives in Boston. So, nothing to do with you, man. Sorry, Stan, has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It's just an ex-girlfriend. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's getting warm in here. It's one of those days, right? 6. Hi, Kelvin. What does 6 mean? More than happy to talk to you. I'm glad. Hey, we're getting people talking. If you guys keep asking questions about Autel, drones, anything in that, I'll answer your questions. And obviously, we have some very knowledgeable people in the chat room. Jeff is a friend of mine. I hope to see him on Monday for lunch. And who knows, I might even meet Brian on Monday for lunch. Bruce, if you want to come into Chicago, and of course you got to be part of the Illinois Drone Flyers, and I don't think since being in Indiana, that's against the rules. Why did I sell my Autel? Well, Calvin, you kind of have to go to the beginning, and I'll say it one more time. This is the condensed version. If you want a full drama version, you can look at some links here in the cards, and you can see how I got to my second drone. But basically, the hard drive in my computer failed. My backups had failed before that. I had to do data recovery on it. I needed $700, so I sold my Autel. But I'm going to show you guys this video again. The other reason I was okay with selling my Autel, now my first Autel, first off, was very, very rock solid. Okay, I had no problems with it until the GPS failed and it went into Lake Michigan. But the replacement, this is the replacement drone right here. And the other drone, that's my DJI Phantom 4 Pro. And both of these drones right now, as you see in this video, neither one of them, nobody's touching the sticks. You can look at the orange drone, the beautiful Autel, and it's going down, it's dropping. He's not touching the sticks, and you can see it moving all over. Yes, it was a windy day, but if you notice, the DJI is pretty solid. Now, granted, the camera work for this is not, because I'm holding the controller and I'm trying to take a video at the same time. So I couldn't in good conscience have that as a backup drone because, well, I need to have something that's going to not do that. Okay, I need to have a good solid drone. I'd rather have a Mavic Pro. I originally was thinking about selling that and getting a Mavic Pro, but then my hard drive failed and I couldn't get the Mavic Pro. So there's my whole spiel. That's the nutshell. You looked into AMA, but you have to fly on their sites for the insurance. Also, you have to have a spotter. Bruce, how long ago did you look at AMA? Because I know some people that have done it. To see the reason, no, Bruce, the reason we do it here is Cook County Forest Preserves. We can't fly there without that, and you can't fly really anywhere on them anyway. Yeah, DJI does make the best, unfortunately. That means they're a big monopoly, almost a monopoly. But anyway, the AMA with the Cook County Forest Preserves, they allow you to fly a drone there with AMA membership because it has that insurance, the liability insurance. And if you're flying with a group like we sometimes do, you have spotters because there's usually 5 or 6 or 7 of us, and there's usually a couple people who are not flying at the moment at any given time. Everybody flies their drones, but there's always a couple people that are not flying and they're actually spotting and you're spotting, and you're always paying attention to each other. Kelvin, yes, I agree. DJI does make some awesome drones, but ooh, I dropped my phone. Speaking of drone phones, they do make some awesome drones, but I am a healthy believer in competition. I don't want Autel to go under. I want Autel to survive this little downfall they have right now because they're really slow. I mean, they're waiting for a firmware upgrade. They haven't gotten out for over a year. It's supposed to be out anytime now, which is what they've been saying for 8 months. They've got all these great improvements on drones, and they're always going to be playing catch up. They really are, but DJI has got to have some kind of competition in order to keep the market healthy. That's how you keep a market healthy, is competition. Otherwise, if DJI may get to a point where it says, screw it, we're just going to put out whatever we want because you're going to buy it. That's why I'm glad that Android exists against iPhone. Windows phones, who cares? But I'm glad that these other things, Mac against Microsoft, I don't care which one you like. It's good that the other one exists because then there's competition and it's healthy competition. So it's the same situation. You got DJI, you got Autel, you got Unique, you got, not Karma, and you've got these other drone companies, and you've got to have a good, healthy competition. But if DJI has like 98% of the market and the rest of it's 2% with everybody else, that's not a good thing for the consumer. I want to have options. I want to have more options than just one company. Always fun flying the same drones at the same time. Whose is whose? Yes, that's fun, Jeff, because when I fly with Ed down south side, he and I both have a 4 Pro, and we're constantly going, which one is you? And we'll okay, one of us don't touch it, and the other one move the drone. Okay, that one's me. but we're usually not that. We usually pay attention. Autel will get better with time, Calvin. I hope they can get better before they go out of business. That's my concern is they go out of business. I hope they don't go out of business. That's what I think. You see the Russians hack for DJI drones, scary and upsetting. The people are hacking them. But are you surprised, Jeff? I saw that, yes. I'm not surprised at all because when somebody puts restrictions on something, it's just like having a car. If you had a car that you purchased that was governed at 55 miles an hour, you're going to go find someone to get around it. At least a lot of people are. You may not, but a lot of people are. And it's just the same thing. People, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. I mean, I know of a guy who's actually working on, and it's actually easily done. Well, not easily done. If you're smart and you know how to do it, I met a guy who's working on a system to hack your drone as far as when you're flying it, he takes control of it. Now, that's going to be mostly for police and authorities to use, but, that stuff will happen. The guy flew 2,000 feet and rising. Well, yeah. But see, here's the thing with that, Jeff. DJI does it, but Autel doesn't. No other company makes you do that. And the other thing with that is, technically, if you're over by the Willis Tower, you can fly 400 feet above it. As long as you have, you're allowed to be down there and blah, blah, blah. But, I don't want DJI saying, well, you can't fly above this. It's like, well, actually, yes, I can. I have my permits. So there should always be, the guy. Yeah, I kind of knew what you meant. Mostly. There's always going to be something. I saw or actually maybe we talked about this last week in the live stream. There's always going to be a reason or sometimes there's going to be a reason to go break the rules. Anyway, the whole goal is, I'm like lost. My wife just got home. My train of thought just got lost. The thought is, if you bought a device, no matter what it is, you should have full use of it, even if it allows you to break a law. Because, with a car, I want to keep going back to the car. A car, you can go speeding. Or it's like, I'm sorry, Stan, for a car, you're from Boston, sorry. So if you have a car, you can go 90 miles an hour. Although it's illegal in every state that I know of, you can go 90 miles an hour. You can go 100 miles an hour in most cars. I don't think I'd do it in my car, but you can do it. So the manufacturer shouldn't limit things. They shouldn't. But DJI is. I understand why they're doing it because it is a safety thing. But I go back and forth on this. I don't want someone to tell me what I can and can't do with something I purchased. But I also don't want people going 2,000 plus feet up in the air and possibly hitting a small plane. I don't want them to get in the way I don't want them to get in the way of a firefighter. I don't want them to get in the way of a medical helicopter. I don't want that to happen. Yes, even allowed I have a vision of a bat doing the Willis Tower would be no in my books. I would only be worried that my battery would die on the way down. It probably wouldn't. It would probably be fine. But I'm thinking because of the heavy wind, because it's going to be windy up there, I don't know. And I'm paranoid anyway. I don't mind flying high, but I don't want to fly high next to, in the loop. That's no. I don't mind flying high. Like if there's if you have like a big transmission tower, you're allowed to fly around it legally. There's ways to do it, and they could be 1,000 feet up, and you can fly up to 1,400 feet around that legally because a plane's not supposed to be that close to it. The whole reason for the 400-foot rule is that drones can fly 400 feet because Cessnas and small planes can't fly below 500 feet. So unless they're near an airport, so you got that 100-foot barrier. Well, they're not supposed to be 500 feet above, or they're supposed to be more than 500 feet above buildings, at least. So 300 feet. So that's the reason. I understand the real rules and all that, but I don't want to be told what I can and can't do. Now, so you get nervous at 300 feet. I've had my drones at 399 feet. I've put them up to that limit. I have not gone over 400 because I don't like to break those rules. The rules are there for a reason. I don't want to break them. And, for people who do break them, that's your problem, not mine. It better not be my problem. It better not be me in the medical helicopter being buzzed to get somewhere and we hit your drone. Anyway, I said my piece. I'm really not that bad about it. But yeah, the 300 feet with a Mavic, I don't think I'd fly 300 feet with a Mavic. I'd done it with the 4 Pro anytime. That's no big deal. Whew. Boy, I've been talking a lot. How long have we been doing this? What time is it? Holy cow, 40 minutes. Any more questions, guys? You got any more Autel questions, DJI questions, drone questions, rule questions? Anything? Anybody's donating to my new place, get me out of this apartment building fund? I'm taking monthly donations of, say, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000 each. Yeah, that'll work. I do have some ideas of some things I do want to do that would put me in a studio, not a studio apartment, a studio like a video studio, where I would be able to do these live streams and whatnot in a better room where I don't have the traffic and the people all around me. Is my lease? I don't have a lease. We have a month to month, and I've been here for 2 years. We've been here for 2 years. The rent just went up, but it's not ridiculous. So, but yeah, all I got to do is give them 30 days notice, which is kind of nice. So if you want to donate to my $4,000 a month fund, my bank account number is da-da-da-da-da-da. On a live stream. That would be so smart, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I don't have a lease. We can give 30 months. That's something, Jeff, that I would not say on a live stream. So we're not going to talk about different things. I'm looking is all I'm going to say. I'm looking. I would love to live downtown. I would love to live in a barn. I would love to live anywhere where it's not so dang noisy. That's really kind of what I'm looking for. And at this point, I kind of got to be close to the city because I still need to do Uber driving every now and then because I got to make a little bit of money here and there. Hey, Jeff, I think it's just you and me now. I don't think anybody else is here. I think everybody left us. I'm going to cry. But we got up to 10 people watching at one time. Oh, house, condo, townhouse. I really don't want to buy a house. I'm only looking at renting. I never. But we can talk about that Monday. This isn't really the place for that on a live stream talking about drones. Someplace that's outside of. Oh, hey, Stan, good. Someplace that's outside of O'Hare airspace would be nice. Oh, Stan, do you have any questions, anything you want to put in there for that you deal with in Boston? Stan, I don't know. Did you answer the question if you're a hobbyist or? I think you said you're a hobbyist. You said you were a hobbyist, right? Yeah. I can't scroll up on this one. So I'm open to any questions. We can keep this going for a little bit longer, or I can log off and be done because I don't want to. We want to talk drones. And by the way, my goal. Good. Yes, you're a hobbyist. Anyway, my goal with this video or with this channel is number one to promote good droning, to give good tips. Hey, JJ Drones, thank you. How are you? I won't cry too hard now that I know you're here. I don't. JJ Drones 1. Thank you for joining. So this channel is going to be promoting, safe and responsible droning. It's to give you tips, to do some cool videos occasionally with some nice aerial stuff. I want to do. Okay, see, I like his drone news, but I want to do drone news live. And you are a hobbyist. Thank you, Mr. JJ Dones. You missed your R in there, in my opinion. But that's an opinion that doesn't matter. But I do want to I'm thinking about doing a live stream news once a week, like on maybe a Monday or a Wednesday. What do you guys think about that? So Stan, you have an XSP. You also have a unique 5000. Oh, you have a 500, and you have an Inspire 1. You use the XSP more than the rest. Sweet. Hey, John Jensen. Nice to meet you, John. So, Stan, you got a little bit. You're an avid droner, and that's pretty cool. And you still can't fly. So, Stan, where do you go when you're gonna go fly? Since you can't do a lot in Boston, where's your go-to place? That's what I want to know, John. See, Jeff saying, John got me to say it. So, Stan, where is your go-to place or one of your favorite places to go that's obviously not sitting in Boston, or I'm guessing not in Boston, but somewhere near there? I mean, you got New Hampshire, you got Vermont, you got Connecticut, Rhode Island, and you got Maine. So you got all those beautiful, beautiful areas. Do you go down into Rhode Island? Or is it against the rules for massholes to go down to Rhode Island? I say that in a loving fashion. Sorry, I had to grab my phone off. Jesus. Let's make some more noise. The Q500 is not great. I take it to the lakes in the area, and I love to go up to New Hampshire and Vermont for open areas. New Hampshire and Vermont. Oh, yeah. The mountains have got to be beautiful. You probably don't go to the Kankamangas Highway much because there's probably too many people there, especially during leaf peeper season. Let's see if I can drop my phone again. Yes, I know what leaf peeper season is. I used to be a tour guide, and I used to lead the leaf peepers, and boy, did I hate doing that. That's just way too many people. Way too many people. I should probably just leave my phone on the ground since I'm going to keep dropping it, right? No. Okay. There it is. Sitting a lot better. You've flown in Rhode Island, but I just found out that you're supposed to fly. Oh, you got to have FAA permission to fly in. Well, luckily, Rhode Island's a small state, and it doesn't really matter. So, got to have permission to fly in Rhode Island. Well, see, it can't be FAA permission because the FAA won't care. It must be local. Usually when it's a permission thing like that, it's usually local, unless there's so many airports. I mean, Providence Airport is kind of big, but it doesn't take a 45-mile. Definitely, I'm not flying in Rhode Island. Or I'm going to do the rules and check really hard. I mean, it could be like New York City, where you got about 3 places you can fly, and 600 people are there flying. But yeah, Vermont and New Hampshire. Oh God, that's the White Mountains. Oh, yeah, I've been there. Can you tell? You went to Kangamangas and flew there. Don't think you're supposed to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rule on that because I didn't have a drone when I was there, so I don't know. I would love to see some of that video. Okay, Jeff's got a question. If a drone is prohibited, is that any size drone? Because when I went to Orlando, no flying allowed in the area I was in. I'm gonna bet. Oops, the little drone that I have. I bet you could fly that one. But like a Spark. I don't know. I mean, it's when they say no drone, I guess what that would do, on a legal standpoint. Here's what I see. Let's say you're a douchebag. You're not, because I like you, Jeff. But let's say you're a douchebag, and you're being a douchebag, and you're flying a little itty-bitty drone that's not going to hurt anybody. It wouldn't hurt a fly. But the cop's like, you know what? You're a douchebag. There's no drones here, and you're flying a drone, so we're going to give you a ticket and a fine. Now, let's say you're Jeff, and you're a really nice guy, and you're flying this little drone. The police may just say, bye-bye, and not even look at you. So, that's my. I gotta quit hitting things. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts. If it says no drones, it's no drones. It's not even a nano. So, Adrian, you're asking where in New York City is a fly zone? There's a guy on YouTube, not Casey Neistat. There's a guy on YouTube who does a vlog, who I think he's in Staten Island, and there's a place somewhere in Staten Island. You're not gonna fly in Manhattan. That's not happening. All right, but there's a place you can take off and fly around Staten Island. I think I don't think you can go into Brooklyn. You're not going to go into Brooklyn and go anywhere. That's just not going to happen. But yeah, I think Staten Island, there might be 1 or 2, but there isn't a lot. I mean, it's not like you can go to Central Park and go flying around without getting in trouble. I mean, Casey Neistat, he got busted. Yeah, exactly. Here, everywhere is a flight. Tell me about it, Jeff. Oh my God. Yeah, Casey Neistat. I don't like the guy, but I don't hate the guy. I'm pretty indifferent to Casey. He does some cool stuff, but he is also kind of a jerk in my opinion. But I've never met him, so I don't know. It's just the feeling I get from some of his videos. They might make an example of him because he has such a big following. They need to do something to say, this isn't right. He maybe part of what they're doing is they're through Casey, they're letting everybody know who watches him is like, this ain't happening more because I got in a lot of trouble. The video he made of him snowboarding behind the Jeep. Number one, he wasn't supposed to be out in anyway because it was like a no drive day or whatever. It was like this snow warning and all that. And he went snowboarding behind a Jeep. Not only was he doing that, but he was also flying the drone. I mean, how else did he get those aerial shots? I mean, he didn't have a helicopter because that wouldn't have gone down the roads or been out either. So, because of those videos, he knew he was taking a risk. He knew he was going to be breaking the law, but he did it anyway because he also knew that he was going to make a crap ton of money on that video. So, maybe the fine needs to be commensurate to how much money he made on that video. I don't know. You fly in Delaware, Adrian, with a Flamewheel F330. I do not know that drone. I know the popular drones, and I'm not into the racing drones. I don't know if that's a racing drone or what it is. And if you could tell me what it is, I'll listen to you. You won your Inspire 1 brand new. Oh my gosh. You bought the Q500, then you bought the XSP so you can travel. And the Inspire 1 is great. Yeah, the setup is a pain because you got to have a camera. That's a professional drone. I mean, that's meant to be for professionals. I'm sure if you would like to send it my way, I'd be more than happy to take it. It probably has the XS3, the 3 camera, the X3 camera, right? Not the 5, because the 5 is the really good camera. But yeah, the Inspire it's just a fantastic platform. Of course, you probably have the Inspire version 1. And the version 2 is a little bit better. Anyone fly in the Keys? Brian, you're the one that was talking about it last week. Someone was talking about that last week. Yeah, let's do a chip in for an Inspire 2 for me. Or an M200 with all the cameras and gizmos. Oops, chip in. I don't care. It's a DIY drone. Oh, it's a DIY drone. See, I'm sure that if I built a DIY drone, the first thing it would do was go into a lake. And I'm not, even if I wasn't near a lake, it'd probably fly up 200 feet, fly straight towards the lake, and go in. Actually, I don't think it'd be that bad. I'm sure I could build a DIY drone if I wanted to. But that's awesome. I'm glad you did that, Adrian. That's a fantastic thing because then you don't have the DJI app to tell you what you can and can't do. Kind of like the rest of us. Of course, you get the Russian hackers and you hack that drone. Oh, you guys got me laughing. Thank you. I've been needing the good laughing. Yeah, so Brian asked, is anybody flying in the Keys? Anybody ever flown in the Keys? You know what, Brian? I've seen videos of a guy who lives down in the Keys, and he's off his porch, and obviously he lives right on the water, the canal, and he has really good videos. I'm sure. I mean, you can fly there. Gotta jump out. Hey, we'll see you later, John. John. You have a great weekend and have a great day and fly safe. I think we're about done with this thing. We've been running almost an hour now. Excuse me. And I have had a good time today. Now remember, my channel. Let's talk about my channel because this channel is the most important thing on the planet. Hobby store opening. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, Jeff. There's a new hobby store opening up in North Elmhurst, Illinois. I'm looking forward to that, to go up there just to go. I like to go play. So yes, new store. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, I want to get this whole video done, and I don't mind pimping out Jeff's stuff because Jeff is a friend of mine, and he's in the area. I'm in Chicago. He's in the Chicago area, and he's a good person. So, and you may or may not think so, which is fine. I mean, if you don't like me, then you don't like me. I won't cry too hard. I learned a long time ago not to really care too much about what people think about me, because anyway, that's just a whole nother story. Anyway, let's talk about my channel, because my channel is the most important thing in the whole world in my mind, but that's me and me. So my channel is, I'm trying to up the ante, but it's going to be difficult because of time constraints mostly. I'm upping the ante. I'm going to try to do a live drone news once a week. I'm starting to aggregate some data and get a format going for that. I want to do one drone tip a week. I might do one vlog a week, kind of like I said on my vlog, and then I want to do one of these, a drone chat. And I don't know if I'm going to do it on Fridays or if I'm going to do it on Thursdays. I'm thinking what I might do is a Monday through Thursday week. You know, news, tip, vlog, live stream. Something like that. You guys, FPV Racing Hobbies Inc. is the name. So you guys, let me know what you guys think about that kind of a schedule. I don't know how well I'll be able to keep it up because simply I'm busy. I got a lot of things to do. So FPV Racing Hobbies, I know I'm going back and forth. The new hobby store is FPV Racing Hobbies Inc. It's in North Elmhurst. Brian, if you're on the Illinois Drone Flyers, you will look up Jeff, and he'll give you all that information. He's posted it in that group. Okay, everybody, I'm going to be signing off now. We've had a good group. I appreciate this. I do want to do more of these live streams because it's kind of nice to hang out and talk to you guys. And you guys, let's see, I don't have anything else to show you. You guys have you watch the videos. Thanks for the stream, good stuff. Thanks, Stan. Have a great weekend. If you ever chase down that girl in Boston, give me a call. Oh, I'm not touching that girl. No way. That's bad news. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. And until next time, safe flying, and bye.